You've probably had moments when fear creeps into your mind, clinging to your thoughts like an inescapable shadow. Maybe it's the fear of failing at something you've put your heart into, or the sinking feeling that you're not good enough, no matter how hard you try. It's heavy, isn't it? Like carrying a burden that slows you down with every step. Today, I want to share a story, a simple story, about two disciples that might change the way you think about fear and failure. It's a story rooted in the quiet wisdom of Zen, but it speaks to all of us, no matter where we are in life.
On a dusty path winding through the woods, where sunlight barely filtered through the leaves, two young disciples walked side by side, their robes brushing the ground, their minds filled with questions. They were students of a great Zen master whose words seemed to unlock the mysteries of life. But today, they were nervous. They were sent to carry a message to a distant village, and it was the first time they had been out alone. The forest seemed vast, filled with sounds they could not identify. As they walked, one of them, Kale, noticed something slithering across the path. A snake, its scales glinting like whetstone, stopped and raised its head. Kale stood still, his breath caught. His friend, Soren, stopped too, eyes wide. The snake did not move, but its presence was like a wall they could not overcome. Kale's mind was in turmoil. He had heard tales of venomous snakes, of bites that took breath and life in an instant. His heart pounded, urging him to run, to abandon the path and the mission. Soren, on the other hand, stood still, his eyes fixed on the creature. "What do we do?" he whispered. Kale shook his head, his voice trembling. "It's dangerous. We can't go forward."
Fear is real, it's intense, and it's pulling you both into its vortex. You've probably felt it too, when something, or even just the thought of it, stops you. A job interview, a difficult conversation, a dream you're afraid to pursue. It's not just a snake, it's the weight of what could go wrong. But this is where the story changes.
Soren took a slow breath, the kind that seemed to steady the world. He remembered what the Zen master had said. Fear is a guest, not a master. Welcome it, but do not let it choose your path. Instead of running away, Soren approached not recklessly, but cautiously. He watched the snake, noting its movements, its stillness. Kale whispered, "Are you crazy?" But Soren only smiled faintly. "Maybe it's not what we think," he said. He picked up a twig and touched the ground near the snake. Surprisingly, it slithered away, disappearing into the grass without a fight. The path was clear again, and Kale laughed shakily, relief overwhelming him.
What just happened? Soren didn't ignore the fear he felt, like Kale. But instead of letting it take over, he looked closer. He faced the snake, not with arrogance, but with calm. That's the first nugget of wisdom the story offers. Fear is often bigger in our minds than it actually is. Think about a time you were afraid to try something, maybe asking for a raise or starting a new project. How many times did the worst-case scenario actually happen? Now follow Kale and Soren a little further.
They continued on their way, the village still hours away. Kale was still dazed, thinking back to the snake. He grew quieter, his steps heavier. Soren noticed and asked, "What's weighing on your heart?" Kale hesitated, then admitted, "What if we fail? What if we get to the village and ruin the message? The master has faith in us, but I'm not sure I'm ready." Soren listened, nodding. He knew that feeling, the gnawing doubt that you're not good enough. Failure isn't just a word, it's a fear that can suffocate your courage before you even begin. Soren pointed to a small stream beside the road, its water sparkling in the light. "Look," he said, "water doesn't stop because it hits a rock. It flows around it, through it, or wears it down over time. It just keeps going." Kale frowned, not quite understanding. Soren continued, "You said failure is like that rock. It's not the end of the road, it's part of life. If we stumble, we learn. If we fall, we get up. The only real failure is refusing to take the step." Kale thought, the words sinking in. They kept walking, and the village began to feel less like a test and more like an opportunity.
Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the soil in which success grows. Perhaps you have had some rocks in your path, missed opportunities, and broken plans. Instead of fearing them, what if you saw them as teachers? Try this. The next time you stumble, write down one thing you learned. It's like turning a rock into a stepping stone.
As the sun set low, Kale and Soren reached the village. The message was delivered, imperfectly, but with all their heart. The villagers smiled, grateful, and the two disciples felt a quiet pride. On the way back, Kale said, "I was afraid of the snake, of failure. But now it's different." Soren nodded. Fear and failure are loud, but they're not the truth. The truth is in your next step. They entered the forest again, this time more gently, the path no longer a threat but a journey.
Fear and failure will always be there. They are part of being human, but they don't get to write your story. When fear growls like a snake, approach it with curiosity, not panic. When failure feels like a boulder, let it guide, not block. Start small. The next time you're afraid, take a breath and ask yourself, what's really here? If you stumble, choose a lesson to take with you. You're not just walking a path, you're shaping it. And that's how you overcome fear and failure, one step at a time. If this story resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to discover more profound lessons from Buddhist and Zen philosophy. See you on the next journey.